What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out KSK Hell Week. I guess the KSK is the German Special Forces. I actually didn't know that. I don't know much about the German military. And so this will be super interesting. They have a Hell Week. It must be very similar to the Navy SEALs version of a Hell Week, where it's just a lot of physical training within a week. But we're going to find out. This is a short documentary, about 11 minutes, 41 seconds long. I say about, it's exactly that. If you want to watch the video without me waffling over the top of it, you can certainly do that down in the description down below. Let's talk about it. Let's learn about it. I'll compare it to my time in the Royal Marines Commandos. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll learn together. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is coming out Wednesday night. We're going to be really close to 500,000. Like, it's going to probably happen today, tonight, or tomorrow morning. And so I'm going to schedule a live stream for Friday. Give it an extra day or two just to, you know, double check that it gets over that milestone. We'll do a live stream on Friday. We will have a bit of a party. And we'll have some fun. We'll play some games. We'll chat. We'll tell some stories. We'll relax. We'll drink some mead, and we'll have some fun. I think it's going to happen on Friday, guys, which is crazy. At the moment, as I'm looking at this, it's 10 a.m. on Wednesday. I'm going to be putting this out tonight at 4 p.m. Wednesday, British Standard Time. And we're currently sitting at 499,822. So we're only 178 subscribers away from 500,000. Guys, what a journey we've been on together. Amazing. But until we get there, let's watch this video. Let's learn. Let's have some fun. Let's figure out what the German Special Forces are up to, and let's see how much hell is in their Hell Week. Did you like that? Did you like that? How much hell is in their Hell Week? Oh, it's so cheesy. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure it's subtitled. Somewhere in South Germany.
Junge Männer, alle Zeit- und Berufssoldaten, haben sich freiwillig gemeldet zur
Okay, so I'm not going to read the subtitles. So I'm just going to put my head a bit higher. Let's just do it like here. My head a little bit higher so you can read them subtitles down below, okay? And you can just read them yourself if you want.
Sie hier den Eignungstest für das KSK. Alle werden in den nächsten Tagen an ihre Grenzen kommen. Die meisten werden scheitern. Die Höllenwoche ist das Härteste, was man jungen Menschen in einer Demokratie zumuten kann, sagte ein Kommandeur.
Everyone says that though, don't they? It's the hardest training in the world. Everyone says that. Like the Royal Marines training, they put an ad out years ago saying 99.99% need not apply, because that is literally the statistic of people who fail. 99.99% of people who sign up don't get a Green Beret. And it's known as the hardest it's the hardest basic military training in the world, which I think it is. But everyone's going to say that their training is harder. I honestly think that the Royal Marines training is the hardest. After watching so many videos, I think the Royal Marines training is the hardest basic military training. But this isn't basic military training. This is Special Forces, so that's a little bit different. So you can't compare the Royal Marines Commandos to the SEALs or the Green Berets or the SAS, the SBS, or, you know, the KSK, because these are all Special Forces and the Royal Marines Commandos are not. But I feel like everyone says that their training is the hardest, don't they?
Einmal. Und die Männer werden spüren, dass recht hat.
Dann jetzt Gepäcke aufnehmen.
Die Gesichter der Bewerber und der aktiven KSK-Soldaten dürfen wir nicht zeigen. Wer hier aufgenommen wird, hängt das nicht an die große Glocke.
Eine kurze Frage noch. Fühlt sich jeder physisch und psychisch in der Lage, die Eignungsverstellung durchzuführen? Jawohl. Gut. Ausführung.
180 Kilometer werden sie in den nächsten 5 Tagen zurücklegen. Jeder von ihnen ist mit schwerem Gepäck unterwegs.
That sounds about right. 112 miles. I probably covered that in Final X in the Royal Marines training, probably about that amount of distance total. And if you think about these aren't basic soldiers. These are going in for Special Forces. So yeah, it makes sense that they're going to match about that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Final X, the final exercise of Royal Marines training, we probably matched about that distance. It seems like a lot, but over 5 days, it's nowhere near as much as you think it is. We did this yomp. We call it yomping, and I swear to God, it went on like 12 hours, and it was through the night. And it was a constant fake horizon, and it was just the most horrific thing I've ever done in my life. It was horrific. But I did it. I don't know how far we went. It was upwards of upwards of 60 miles, I think. I can't remember. It's been a long time. It might have been 60 kilometers. It's been a long time. It was definitely a long, long distance, and it took all night to do it.
Leichter werden nur die Bewerber selbst. Jeder verliere in der Höllenwoche bis zu 8 Kilo, sagt man uns.
That's a lot of weight in a week.
Die Pausen sind kurz. An Schlaf ist kaum zu denken.
Erster Gruppenführer, hier, Gruppenstärke. Okay, 12 Mann. Okay, dann setzen Sie jetzt ab, Kiste und Funkgerät, organisieren sich in den nächsten 3 Minuten und haben bis dahin Marschbereitschaft wiederhergestellt. Ausführung.
Immer wieder gibt es für die Prüflinge Zusatzaufgaben. Nur wenige davon werden uns gezeigt. Wie gesagt, das Härteste, was man Menschen in einer Demokratie zumuten kann. Der Sandsack auf der Trage simuliert einen verwundeten Kameraden. Über viele Kilometer muss er in Sicherheit gebracht werden. Zusätzlich zum eigenen Marschgepäck.
That's something that you do a lot in training is we do the fireman's carry that you've got to do in a certain amount of time over a certain amount of distance. It's all about helping your oppos. If someone gets injured, you've got to carry them.
Für einen kommt ein frühes Aus. Der Körper machte nicht mehr mit. Im Hintergrund kümmern sich Ärzte um die Ausfälle.
That's a good point, and I'm not going to pause it as much as I am doing. I apologize. Even in Royal Marines training, you get to a certain part, bottom field pass out week 23 out of 32, I think. That's my guesstimate. Where the people who are going to fail from their own issues are already gone, right? And it's practically a matter of luck with injury at that point. Because all the people who were there after week 23, not all the people, I would say the majority of the people, 99% of the people who were in training after week 23, they're going to pass out as long as they don't get injured. Because at that point, mentally, you're just there. Mentally, you are up for it, and you are... It's almost as if, like, it's a sprint to the finish, and you are not going to stop. And so with Special Forces, I can only kind of project that further and say, well, these are actually soldiers at this point. And my presumption is that they're all mentally capable of doing it, but physically, it's whether their bodies will let them do it. They could be physically fit, that's fine, but all it takes is one rolled ankle. All it takes is a slip, a cut, you know, a bit of brush in the eye or something, you know, a bit of tree in the eye. Like, that's all it takes.
Am nächsten Morgen. Das Thermometer zeigt minus 10 Grad. Eine Flussüberquerung steht an. Ronny ist Kommandosoldat der ersten Stunde, mit 43 Jahren ein Senior im KSK. Sein Job in dieser Woche? Die Bewerber beobachten, alles registrieren. Wie reagieren sie auf die Zumutungen? Wer zeigt Nerven? Wer wird aggressiv? Nach den Schindereien der ersten Tage wird selbst das Anziehen des Neoprenanzugs zu einem echten Problem.
Ja.
Ein bisschen Bewegung, die Viertelstunde ist schon rum.
Ich habe ein Problem.
Was war ein Problem?
Meine Füße sind angeschwollen und ich komme nicht mehr in meinen Schuhen.
Oh, that sucks.
Das geht schon, da machen Sie ein bisschen Wasser rein.
Just pour a bit of water inside, you'll get it on. Yeah, his foot must be swollen from all the walking and putting on a wetsuits are hard to put on. They can be difficult to put on. They're not an easy thing, are they?
Bei den anderen ging's ja auch.
Letztendlich dient jetzt diese Übung dazu, festzustellen, wer jetzt in der Lage ist, nach diesem langen Marsch auch bereit ist, sich jetzt hier wirklich auszuziehen, sich in dieses kalte Wasser zu begeben und sich selbst zu überwinden, dieses Gewässer zu durchschwimmen.
Yeah.
Das Wasser hat 3 Grad. Da schützt der Neoprenanzug nur bedingt. Dass sie jetzt noch 3 Tage und Nächte vor sich haben, mag manchem von ihnen durch den Kopf gehen.
I mean, 3 days, I feel like if you get into this point, you've only got 3 days left. Like when I was in the Marines and I got past, like, okay, let me just talk about the commando tests at the very end, right? You've got all the commando tests. And I feel like going into, you've already done Final X, you've done all the horrible stuff. Like nothing's going to stop you unless you're injured. I don't care how many days are there. You've got through some of the most disgusting stuff ever. I know you've still got the 9-mile speed match, the Tarzan assault course, the endurance course, the 30-miler, all the commando tests, but nothing's going to stop you. And what also happens as well is when you pass each test, so the first one's the endurance test, when you pass that, it's almost as if you're more ready for the next one. And then you pass what's after the endurance test. I'm pretty sure it's the 9-mile speed match or it's the Tarzan. Which one between the two? I can't remember. It might be the 9-mile speed match and then the Tarzan or vice versa. I can't really remember. And then by the time you get to the 30 mile, you're like, I am going to run these 30 miles and nothing's going to stop me, like, at all. So for 3 days left, I don't know. Maybe it's a certain type of person that's just like, it's 3 days. Just get through the 3 days. It's not that big of a deal. Do you know what I mean? Special forces, though, so it's a lot different to, you know, my training as a commando.
Einige der Bewerber haben schon ein Studium hinter sich. Maschinenbau, Medizin, Betriebswirtschaft.
Yeah.
Jetzt hängen sie an einem langen Seil in eiskaltem Wasser. Doch viel Zeit bleibt nicht für solche Gedanken. Am anderen Ufer angekommen heißt es, umziehen und weiter. Mit feuchten Klamotten, im Laufschritt.
Are they fasting when they do this whole week? Are they fasting for the whole week? That's interesting if they are. Or it might be just for a couple of days within the week. They could be fasting for a week. I've fasted for a week before and it's not that difficult.
Zwischendurch immer wieder Extraaufgaben.
First like couple of days are hard and after that it's
25
easier.
Kilo wiegt der Rucksack. Jetzt kommen nochmal 25 Kilo zusätzlich auf
Ooh,
den Buckel.
nasty. An extra on top of the Bergen. Them Bergens are already going to be heavy while they're gearing.
Die Strecke bergauf muss in einer bestimmten Zeit geschafft werden. Aber wie lang die Strecke ist, wissen die Bewerber nicht.
Get it on your back, mate. That's a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight right there. People don't realize how heavy it is.
Raus. Ohne Diskussion.
Die ganzen Aufgaben, die wir den Männern abverlangen, vermitteln uns aber auch einen detaillierten Eindruck über die Persönlichkeit des Soldaten.
He's got the classic beanie and mustache. Captain Price. Do you know what I mean? The classic Special Force beanie and mustache.
Und es geht uns nicht nur um den extrem strapazierfähigen Soldaten, sondern auch den, der in seiner Persönlichkeit entwickelt, ausgeglichen und nicht über unkontrollierte Aggressivität verfügt. Ich nutze es nicht gerne, aber es ist der Punkt, wo wir immer wieder sagen, wir wollen den Rambo-Typen ausschließen. Und das, glaube ich, schaffen wir erfolgreich.
Was meinen Sie denn mit unkontrollierter Aggressivität?
Wenn jemand in Situationen, wo er frustriert ist, anfängt, seinen Frust durch Aggression abzubauen. Und das können wir uns überhaupt nicht leisten.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize this. Special Force, so the Royal Marines Commandos, it takes a certain individual to do it, right? It does take a certain individual to pass Royal Marines Commandos tests and training. And I feel like the net is much wider than Special Forces. And a lot of people think for Special Forces, you've got to be this like renegade, Rambo style kind of outlaw. When the truth is, it's not really like that. You've not got to be, like, people think you've got to be like this leader, this speaker, like the person who's confident in front of everyone, the person who's like, you know, the Henry Cavill of actors. Do you know what I mean? And that's not the case. What I've seen and what I've been told by friends in the Royal Marines who've gone on to do Special Forces stuff is they're not really looking for people like that. They're looking for people who are happy to get stuff done, that are willing to admit when they're wrong, right? It's not about, you know, trying to get through interrogation. It's about being sensible and knowing when to give certain information up in interrogation. It's a lot different than what people expect it to be, and I think Hollywood's made that the way it is. I watched an interview with a Special Forces lad who said, I can't remember who it is, it might be one of the lads who made Through Dark, I'm not sure. And he said that they were doing jungle training and he was looking at the map and he had no clue where he was. But part of him didn't want to admit that to the instructors because they're like, where are you? Until he turned around and said, I ain't got a fucking clue where I am. And they were like, good, all right, this way. Like, it's almost as if they want to know who you are as a person and they don't want someone who's just going to blag their way through it or ego their way through it. It's a very certain type of individual and it's very impressive.
Welchen Grad an Leidensfähigkeit haben die Aspiranten? Das ist die Frage.
Don't do it. Look at him looking at him. Good lad, good lad. Good lad. Good lad. That's hurt. Like I know what I can just feel that pain in your back. I'd like from when I was young. I remember on Final X putting my Bergen on my back, and it was heavier than I was. Basically, like I was a young 16-year-old, and this Bergen was soaking wet. It was like the final thing we had to do, and we had to get to the 4-tonners, and we were gonna get like it was like an exercise, and we had to get out of there type of thing. And I just remember being drenched to the bone. Absolutely drenched, and everything weighed 1,000,000 pounds. That's what it felt. And honestly, I felt like when I put that Bergen on, and I couldn't put it on, I had to have other people help me put it on because it was so heavy. It felt like my back was legitimately going to snap in half. Like, that's what it felt like. And it's just nauseating, horrific. And every single step you take it's honestly like, I can't even put it into words. Every single step you take is just rough. It really is. So I don't know how much weight that is compared to what I carried, but I just know that feeling of trying to get up that hill. Come on, lad. Come on, lad. Don't stumble. No. No.
Wer langsam absetzt, wird verwarnt. Einmal.
Ah. First warning. Good lad. So if they slam it down, it's an instant leave, but if they put it down, they get a warning. That makes sense. That makes sense, that. Because if you're treating this log as a valuable object, that makes sense.
Ein Truppenpsychologe ist immer dabei. Auch einzugreifen, wenn einer die Nerven verliert.
Interesting, we never had that.
Die rote Linie müssen sie erreichen.
So, 39, bitte auch nochmal nach oben. Also Mensch was?
Irgendwo da oben muss sie sein.
There's a red line.
Durch die Witterungsverhältnisse war es für die Männer schon schwierig heute. Dennoch bin ich mit der Gesamtleistung zufrieden und muss sagen, wir haben jetzt ca. 50% Ausfälle. Wir sind also immer noch weit über dem Durchschnitt, den wir vor einem Jahr noch hatten.
Im Geländewagen liegt eine Tonne mit Verpflegung. Die müssen...
Oh, that's horrific! That's so bad! Oh, the psychological torture right there. There's food on that vehicle, and you've got to catch it. They've got the Bergens on still, and I remember them little kind of shuffle runs when you got your Bergen on. Oh, the mental game of that is horrific.
Sie sich im Laufschritt erkämpfen. Zermürbend, denn die Tonne muss erst noch ein ganzes Stück geschleppt werden. Das Problem, sie wiegt 1 Zentner und hat keine Griffe.
Yeah, that sucks.
Eine Tüte mit karger Fertignahrung. Das ist alles. Danach 4 Stunden Zeit, um die Ausrüstung in Ordnung zu bringen. Wohl eine Art Pause.
Okay, so they're getting a bit of food down.
Am Abend sind von den 50 Bewerbern noch 15.
So 15 left out of the 50. And he said they had a 50% success rate after that hill climb. So that's 25. So another 10 have dropped out since then. You know, again, like, a lot of them could be injuries. A lot of them could legit be injuries. Some of them will be psychological. You know, I bet about 30 to 40% are psychological. I bet a lot of them are injuries as well. A guy had a swollen foot before he even got in the river. Then he had to climb that hill. Then he had to chase that vehicle. He probably dropped out.
Übrig geblieben. Nach einer simulierten Gefangennahme sind sie auf der Flucht. Über Stunden waren sie eingesperrt, in Feindeshand. Alles sehr realitätsnah, wie es heißt. Das durften wir nicht filmen.
That makes sense.
Nur noch wenige Meter zurück in die Kaserne nach Calw. Dann ist die Höllenwoche fast überstanden.
Oh, I bet that feeling is
Qualen
unreal.
und Schmerzen waren ständige Begleiter. Sie hätten ihre eigenen Körper besiegt, sagen uns die jungen Männer später.
Yeah. They'll sleep like an absolute log after this.
Die letzte Hürde dann nachts in der Kaserne.
After that, they have to sit. Do you know, they always, some people might know this, Royal Marines training, they call recruits nods, N-O-D, nods. Because when you'd have lectures, everyone's like, because you're so tired and busy from doing shit, you'd look around during a lecture and everyone's like,
So, wenn er langsam zur Ruhe kommen. Von mir erstmal herzlichen Glückwunsch. Hier haben noch nicht viele gesessen. Also wirklich eine tolle Leistung, wir können stolz auf euch sein.
that's brilliant.
Nachdem sie mehr als 100 Stunden körperlich durch den Mangel gedreht wurden, müssen sie noch Aufgaben lösen,
They have to do
die
mental
geistige
tasks.
Wachheit
Yeah.
zu testen.
Yeah.
Auch hier kann für den einen oder anderen noch das Auskommen.
Oh, can you imagine failing there? Oh, that's horrific. Psychologically, that's horrific.
Damit ist der Prüfungsstress vorbei und letztendlich geht es jetzt in die Absackphase, so nenne ich das einfach mal. Jetzt gibt es auch kein Halt mehr, was die Emotionen anbetrifft. Ja? Sondern jetzt ist man fertig, man weiß, man hat zumindest es bis hierher geschafft. Ob man durchgekommen ist, weiß man nicht. Aber man weiß zumindest, dass man die körperlichen Leistungen abgerufen hat und die auch geschafft hat.
Yeah.
Herr Oberfeldwebel, bitte nehmen Sie Platz.
Am nächsten Morgen 7 Uhr. Antreten vor der Prüfungskommission.
Oh, this is where it probably gets really like, I bet their nerves are just passing all that and then having to stand in front of them and they say yay or nay. Like if they said no after all that, I'd be like, shit, like I got through it and they still said no. Like what the hell? What do you want from me?
Wie hast du denn das gestern Abend gedacht, als du da auf einmal zurückfielst?
Ich war ganz schön platt.
Ja, aber ich kann mich noch erinnern, dass du mal anderswo einen Spruch gemacht hast. Nehmt es mir nicht übel, aber ich habe es mir härter vorgestellt. Da war es schon ganz schön hart,
Das
nicht?
stimmt. Da habe ich mit dem Oberleutnant gesprochen, kurz vor der Gefangennahme. Dann hat er mich gefragt, wie ich das bis jetzt empfunden habe. Und dann habe ich gesagt, es geht eigentlich. Ich habe es vom Erzählen her mir jetzt schlimmer vorgestellt. Und habe da die Gefangenenphase außer Acht gelassen. Die hat mir ganz schön die Kraft rausgezogen aus dem Körper. Und so habe ich mich dann auch gefühlt am Ende.
Mhm. Gut, und wie bewertest du insgesamt deine Leistung? Hast du bestanden oder nicht bestanden?
Bestanden.
Gut. So ist auch unser Urteil.
Oh, the relief he probably just had there, the excitement, the happiness. You made the 3rd place, congratulations. But you should watch out for one thing.
Insgesamt hast du den 3. Platz gemacht. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Aber eins musst du aufpassen. Und das ist, wenn du dich hier bei uns bewegst,
That's how you express yourself.
wie du dich
Interesting.
äußerst. Du hast manchmal die Tendenz, ich sage das mal deutlich und klar, zur großen Klappe. Dieser Spruch, nimmt es mir nicht übel, ich habe es mir härter vorgestellt, war einer von denen. Klar.
Jawohl.
Also,
Ja.
pass da auf. Ansonsten freuen wir uns, dass wir
Amazing.
dich hier bei uns haben. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Damit kann für ihn und 12 andere Soldaten die
Incredible.
2-jährige Ausbildung zum Kommandosoldaten beginnen.
Incredible. Absolutely great video. Really, really good video. It'll be a link down below in the description if you want to watch it without me waffling on the top of it. I genuinely really enjoyed that video. I thought it was brilliant. I'd never seen the KSK before, never heard of them. So to watch that and see some of their training is really inspiring and brings me back to a lot of times in the Royal Marines that were really, you know, psychologically troubling. I think the best way to put it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I think, let me refresh it. Yeah, we're close, guys. We're 175 subscribers away as of, 10 a.m. this morning. This will come out like 4 p.m. So If you've not subscribed already, get subscribed. We'll have a live stream on Friday and we'll have a party. All right? Hopefully it happens by Friday. I'm sure it will. Links down below to everything. If you want to check out the equipment I use for everything, headphones, mic, everything, links down below. Until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.